About the 3 women that were killed in the last 24 hours. This is what she said this afternoon.
As it relates to the violent incidents in the past, I would say 24 hours in the city relative to women, what I will say is none of these acts are random at all. And what we have to understand that women also play a role in violent activity in our city. And so they will remain under active investigation.
Hello everyone, it's your sister Roland, and all I need is a few minutes to talk about these tragic stories coming out of New Orleans. And if you saw in the clip before, that was Mayor Cantrell, and she was giving a briefing of what happened in less than 24 hours to these 3 young ladies here. So you have Thursday, which was May 11th, Asia Davis, who was 28 years old, dropped off her daughter to the school bus, and she was fatally shot. And she laid there for a while, not sure exactly how long, but it took a while for the police to come to secure the scene. But you were able to see her body right there. And then that was Thursday morning sometime, and then Friday morning, like around 1:30 in the morning, Diamond Jones and Imani Williams, both of them are 20 years old, went out to a launch to celebrate because Diamond was supposed to graduate on Monday for nursing. She had just found out she passed the nursing exam, which is not easy to pass. So they went out to celebrate. And shots rang out, and unfortunately both of these women were fatally wounded also. So that was Thursday to Friday, and Mayor Cantrell had a press conference because something like this happened where 3 young women lost their lives. People want to hear from the leaders, and a lot of people were upset of what Mayor Cantrell said. How she said she didn't really elaborate and give more detail as to why she said what she said, but she wanted people to know that many of these shootings were not random. I'm not sure if she was exactly talking about all of the cases, because these 2 young ladies down here went to celebrate, and I'm sure if there was something that happened, like a fight that broke out, and then shots rang out. We're not sure. They are still investigating, but with Asia Davis, it could be domestic, because when the father, I guess, found out that she was the one, that got shot, he came and they interviewed him, and he was telling the police that it could be domestic because she was with a guy that, and their relationship turned, they were putting hands on each other, or he was putting hands on her, something like that. And he had urged Asia to leave this man. So it could be domestic, but you know what? They're still investigating, so we don't know exactly. We will have to wait until all of the information comes out. But according to Mayor Cantrell, these were not random. So that could mean, of course, they had a relationship with, they may or may not have had a relationship with these people, whether it was an intimate relationship or some type of a relationship, and it turned deadly. So let's take a look at the statement that Mayor Cantrell said, where she says, we have to acknowledge that women do play a role in violent activities in the city of New Orleans. So that could mean a whole lot of stuff. But one thing I've noticed, sometimes when people do lose their lives, all of a sudden they become saints. So we're not all saints. We are not all saints. We have, certain things about us that's not good. But she wanted to let everybody know that, sometimes women lose their lives, or there are certain acts of violence that happen. They they have a direct contribution. She didn't go into detail, which she did, where other people could learn from this. Other people could learn from this. But we know there's been a lot of women losing their lives because they are in sometimes in certain relationships sometimes because some people do not have emotional intelligence. Because I saw where it says, they had a reason to celebrate. Let's look at that. They had a reason to celebrate. That's why these women were out. Yes, you may have a reason to celebrate, but that doesn't mean you should celebrate everywhere or at any time. Because you don't know, because it's obviously there's a spirit of death that's roaming around, seeking whom it may devour. And it's going after a lot of women. It's going after a lot of women. So you have to be very careful where you go, who you hang out with in these times, because you may not be on nothing. You may just, I just want to celebrate. But then the person who you're with, they want to start stuff. They got a fresh mouth. They want to fight. They want to say all kind of stuff, and they could cause you your life. That may or may not be what happened. We don't know, but we just trying to teach a lesson. And then with Asia Davis' story, it was said when the police interviewed the father, when he came in and he was, say that was my daughter. When they interviewed him, he informed the police that she was in a relationship with this guy, and it turned violent, and she urged her to leave this guy alone. And sometimes this is another way many women lose their lives too, in domestic violence relationships. And then I always hear people say, oh, when he first hit you or whatever it may be, that's when you're supposed to leave. That sometimes that's already too late, because at that point in time you have already formed a bond, that oxytocin bond with that person, and it's not easy to leave. And most of the time, when we do have some women, when they do have family members that care and love them, that's telling you, I think you need to leave this person, it's not good, you have changed, or they see bruises or whatever it may be, they always arguing, it's toxic. And then you have family members that care about you, that love you, and they're telling you to leave this person. Most of the time, we women, we are not listening, because we think, oh, you just don't want me to be happy and stuff like that. So you're not listening to the people that care about you. You're listening to, and sometimes we may think it's intuition. It's not your intuition, sweetie. It's that spirit of death that's roaming around you in this toxic relationship that you're in this abusive relationship that you're in, telling you, oh, they don't want you to be happy. They're hating on you. It's that spirit of death that's talking to you, that's going to lead you to your demise. And we have to listen to people that care about us. People that care about us and love us. If you are in a relationship and they telling you, I don't think this relationship with us, we must heed, because sometimes when you don't listen, you end up paying, and you may end up paying with your life. And as I said, this may or may not be these young ladies' situation, but this is many ways women have lost their lives like this. And it's unfortunate. 3 women in a spot of less than 24 hours, young women that had promised, that had their whole lives ahead of us. Asia Davis, her daughter birthday, today's Mother's Day, her daughter's birthday is today, and her mother is not here. And this is very, very, very unfortunate. So Mayor Cantrell didn't go into too much detail. She probably didn't want to say too much, because this case is still being investigated. She just wanted everybody, she wanted to keep on reiterating that these shootings were not random. So they may have had relationships with whoever took them out, or there was something went down. Something went down that was not good at all. And there's a plethora of reasons why women are losing their lives. Sometimes you lose your life because of the person that you're hanging out with. They start stuff and then you end up paying with your life. So most of the time you have just evil people, evil people out there that just want to do certain wicked stuff. And then you have people that are in relationships too, that some people may not know how to get out of. Some people may think that, oh, nothing is going to happen to me. Yeah, he's crazy, but he's not that crazy to take me out. But we are living in a different time where there is a spirit of death that is roaming and is out to take a lot of people. So you can't never think, not me. No, that will never be me, because it could be you. Then when you look at also, there are certain people online spewing hate speech, because against women, against men, and of course this is creating more disdain and hatred one for each other. So where you have the women that are showing, taking certain cases and say, look how these men are, and or look how these women are. So the men are hating the women even more, and the women are hating the men even more. So and then now it's not like they're gonna stay away from each other. They're not, because man and woman was not created to be alone. So now they coming together, and then they have disdain for each other, and then this plays out. This ends. This ends in one of them taking out each other. Whether it by whatever means they're gonna do it, because they really don't like each other. So that's not helping at all either. So when we're going to choose, we're not choosing with the knowledge that we have acquired of the opposite sex. What to look for in a person. What if there's a red flag? What should you do before the person put hands on you? Before you have to do before. It's not when the person put hands on you. Is before. It's certain stuff that the person is going to do. What do you do next? How to vet people. I've seen people say there's no way to vet people. If there's no way to vet people, you're going to continue to choose the wrong person. There are ways to vet people. There's sometimes your intuition is even before you even get intimate with the person. Before you start spending time with the person, falling in love with the person, your intuition is telling you something is off with this person. But sometimes we are so desperate, or if you're so in heat that you need somebody, even if it's just for a little time. And then sometimes we end up losing our lives. And sometimes we don't think, we have so low self-esteem too. We don't think we could do any better. Oh, that's the best I could do. Even though he do this to me, he cheats on me, he put hands on me, but he still do this. It's just a few times when he gets mad, when things are tough at the job, or his mother makes him mad, or somebody makes him mad. That's why he acts like that. But he's often so sweet. We make excuses, and all of this is that spirit of death that's roaming around, seeking whom it may devour, making you see it's not that bad until it's bad, and then you're no longer here. This is such an unfortunate situation. 3 young ladies, and I think Jediamond, she would always post that, she's studying, and then her son, she had a son. The son is still here, but, she's no longer here. And she shows that she's doing it for him, and she was going to do it for him, provide him a better life. And now he's no longer here, because ain't nobody going to take your better care of your child more than you, the mother or the father. And Asia's daughter is not here. Mother's Day will never ever be the same for her. Mother's Day and plus her birthday. And Imani was in business. She was set to graduate, I believe, in like a year or two. No longer here. but just sympathizing and feeling sorry and saying, oh, that's why I'm single, that's why I don't go out, that's why I don't do that. How is that helping? This is not helping. Whatever we're doing now is not doing nothing, because the numbers are increasing each and every day. I think it's like every 5.5 hours or 6 hours a black woman is taken out. Whatever we're doing, it's not working. It's not working at all. It's not doing anything. It's just keep on happening, keep on happening. We need to do something else. And sometimes doing that something else is telling the truth, being truthful, because you can still care, you can still sympathize and tell the truth, point out certain stuff. But nope, you can't do that because you're victim blaming. It doesn't make any sense. You have a group of people the enemy has set out. Oh, when you point out certain stuff and you call out certain stuff, oh no, you're victim blaming. How are you victim? It's not her fault. It's not that thing. It may not have been the person's fault, but I can still point that out to save another young lady. But anyway, that's all I had to say on this situation. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.